can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Can I breathe? Can I breathe?
As often as I can, my pictures focus through my camera. It seems as if I have lived this recurring nightmare my whole life. I am reduced to watching Black fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, even children die at the hands of an embraced madness. People like me are forced to exist behind enemy lines, only we're not sure who the real enemy is. My inner eye reflects so much pain and carnage. If one is truly paying attention, anyone would see my eyes, beneath my eyes, a deep, dark pain inherited over 4 centuries, a numbing pain throbbing just beneath the surface of my eye sockets. My third eye witnesses the double standards. My third eye remains 2020 when it ventures out into this flawed society. My third eye takes in the countless murders of my kinfolk. Sometimes I live alone. It seems my smiles are far and forgotten. Ever wonder why a Black person feels alone in the bigger scheme of things? Ever wonder why we Black folks calculate our every move in this society? It is because we have to, in order to simply survive. There are times I dare to smile while interacting with the world, but my burden, my history, my ancestors' vigilance remind me of the dangers of conformity. I don't have the luxury of falling asleep. I don't have the comfort of simply blending in because my skin is black. My arms are long. My hair is kinky. My back is strong, strong enough to take the pain inflicted again and again. Sometimes I wonder if he can understand my scramble. The cautious approach to simply living out my version of the American dream. The measured footsteps I'm forced to trod so as to ensure that I don't make a fatal mistake. The presence of mind to choose my verbiage carefully. Otherwise, I am labeled as not really an American. The hustle of putting food on the table, the scramble of making the right choice should I decide to befriend a person who is different from me. Stretching out my hand of friendship while also holding on to the paranoia of what can keep me safe and alive. I dare to ask myself, does God really understand what's going on here? A street of flames harbor the unruly, while that same street takes a friend of mine. I hearken back to Emmett Till. I hearken back to Medgar Evers. I hearken back to James Chaney, Andrew Goodwin, and Michael Schwerner. I hearken back to Viola Luiso. I hearken back to Fred Hampton. I hearken back to Rodney King. I hearken back to Freddie Gray. Tamir Rice. I hearken back to Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, Ahmaud Arbery, and now George Floyd, Jacob Blake, Joseph Rosenbaum, Anthony Hubert, Gage Grusskretch, and Daniel Prude. I am looking at Watts, L.A., Rochester, New York, Ferguson, Missouri, the Bronx, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Kenosha, Wisconsin. 55 years later, Rochester, New York, again. These protests are more than just simply riots. These are more than just human beings acting out with the rule of law being forgotten. No, these are deeply held emotions spilling out into the open for the entire world to see. If you really understood our wearisome journey in this society, then you would at least understand why this kind of response happens time after time after time. How can I find comfort in today when I don't see yesterday as settled stone? Think about that. We as a society lay down the cobblestones. The purpose is to make the path of civilization more industrious. The cobblestones connect cities and villages to allow for easier travel between them. But what happens when we, as a society, lay down the stones, but neglect to apply the adhesive material to bind them together? The result of this neglect landed on the neck of George Floyd in Minneapolis and around the head of Daniel Prude right here in Rochester, New York. The cobblestones remain loose, and those who walk upon them are stumbling and slipping. So I ask this question. I posit this question to you. How can we stumble and slip our way to a perfect union? Sadly, because of this careless and senseless oversight, the American road is littered with the dead bodies of my fallen kinfolk. Will anyone open channels to the great cable of his love? What we are now experiencing in the year 2020 is a twofold pandemic. One pandemic is viral, the other is systemic. Both pandemics wreak havoc on the body and soul alike. Both pandemics bring us warnings. Warnings that continually go unheeded, resulting in unnecessary suffering and, in too many cases, death. The pandemic of COVID-19. The pandemic of racism. Both are destroying the connective tissue of this country for the whole world to see. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, the danger is real. The danger is real. The chaos is palpable. Denial will not help you. Whatever happened to all men are created equal? Whatever happened to our country being a beacon of light in the whole world? I dare to ask, what happened to our basic human instinct to empathize with another human being? I wish I could tell you I'm surprised. But I am not. Not surprised. If we believe in a higher power, if we can claim to believe in the living God, then why do we condone such evils? Why does society turn a blind eye to the sufferings of my people? A proud people who have endured inequities and hardships for over 400 years. Does anyone today hear or even understand the legendary singer, songwriter Marvin Gaye's song when he sang, "Who really cares? Who is willing to try to save the world that is destined to die? When I look at the world, it fills me with sorrow. Children today really suffer tomorrow. Oh, what a shame. Such a bad way to live. Who is to blame when we can't stop living? Every now and then, the citizens of our country experience a moment of clarity. Every now and then, we are reminded of how really divided we are. We can say that race does not matter. We tell ourselves that we are a colorblind nation, and this fallacy becomes our collective delusion. The rain still comes, but only now and then. And all who know it coming run to the inside. When the cleansing showers from heaven fall upon us, are we really being cleansed? This I must ask of you. Who really likes the rain? All I know is when the rain does arrive, the instinct is to find some sort of sanctuary, a shelter. The instinct is to keep ourselves sheltered from the truth that the rain brings with it. Yes, the truth that the rain brings with it. And what do? We run to the inside. We run to the shelters that we know. We seek refuge within our own agendas and disregard the plight of the many, many others who are not like ourselves. The cleansing rain is a gift to all of us from the heavens. It helps us to get ourselves clean as a nation, as a society. This rain is a baptism of sorts, and the rain has come once again, people. It showers our nation in the wake of these unnecessary murders of black people and our brown, red, yellow, and white allies. In the swathe of fires rampaging in our western redwood forests, the many western communities, large and small, engulfing Mordia in Greece, Europe's largest minority migrant camp, and in the multiple worldwide political divisions peppered with excoriating, divisive rhetoric. COVID-19's global specter. Stand out in the rain, people, and get yourself clean. His creations from clay lay wasted and decayed. Will his passion for us endure? Why? Tell me why. We are put on this earth to be stewards of both nature and of our fellow humans. And we have completely lost our minds. Have we forgotten responsibility? We dismiss a viral pandemic. We dismiss the present reality of black, brown, red, yellow, white, and now, yes, some white people's plight, our allies. We live in a take today, gotta get mine society. If you can imagine what the living God is thinking right now, do you believe God would approve? Will God's unconditional love be enough? Will it be enough to sway us from a calamitous, destructive path? As an entire society, we cannot breathe! And what does this say about people? About us as a species? It makes me wonder. Oh, how I wonder. It makes me wonder if God cries. Oh, Lord have mercy. I stand here today and I think of a poem my son wrote 32 years ago, sometime after one of his close boyhood friends, Ralph, had lost his life at a young age. He'd been hit by a car while riding home on his bike. My son told me that on the day before it happened, he and my younger son, Jonathan, were with Ralph and all their buddies playing basketball in the playground. As they bid each other goodbye to go home for dinner, the last words Ralph said to them was, "See you tomorrow, guys. We're gonna play some ball, right? We're gonna play some more ball, right? Yeah, man. We see you tomorrow, man." The next day, when my sons arrived to the playground to play the ball, no one was playing any ball. Their friends just stood there with downcast eyes, looking real sad. Christopher asked, "We playing ball, right, fellas? Hey, where's Ralph? He's usually the first one here." "No, man. Ralph ain't playing no ball today." "What you mean?" "He ain't coming. He ain't coming, man. On his way home last night, a car hit his bike. Killed him, man. His body was so messed up, man. The only part left to identify him was the tattoo on his arm." My son told me his first thought back then was, "I wonder if God cries." That thought etched itself in his memory, and years later, when he was writing a poem of that same title, that same name, "I wonder if God cries," then he understood and felt as if his friend Ralph's tragic death that sunny afternoon echoed the pain inside of himself. Even as a young teen, my son felt it was necessary to highlight the warts of a callous society that does not empathize with black and brown and red and yellow immigrants and other poor people. Ralph, his friend who died, was Mexican American. Rest in peace, young man. I say this because we, each of us, must begin to feel the pain of loss, feel the injustice, feel the suffering of all people. We must empathize and be outraged whenever any group of people is being marginalized. Let us be outraged for others when it doesn't affect our own communities. We black folk are frustrated because this society has promised equality for all, and we are continually left out. We are outraged at a society, not all white people. We are outraged at a system, not all white people. This is important. I say this because some of our white relations assume that we are attacking them personally. The system of racism is the actual culprit. That system enables the pervasive evils that breed and feed and support and encourage privilege. Remember that. Privilege. I once read that people really wanted Miss Nina Simone to be the angry black woman. It's as though people have to understand what anger truly is, because they often mistake passion for anger. Nina Simone expressed a heated passion time and time again in her music, in her actions, and her words. Everybody knows about Mississippi, goddamn! And I believe that only when we remember that, remember ourselves, can our nation ever really have a true sit-down discussion on how this nation can become truly the United States of America. Remember me. Remember me. Whoa, Lord. Remember me. A living God created us all. And there's a trace of that God of humanity in all of us. When one life is destroyed carelessly, there's a degree of harm that affects the creator of us all. If our fellow human beings believe this to be true, hopefully other kinfolk can see the humanity in us black folk. Meanwhile, our nation is cannibalizing itself, almost like the Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail. Yeah. This great experiment, which we call America, may wither away and die. And that truly makes me wonder if God cries. It makes me wonder, oh, how I wonder. It makes me wonder if God cries. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I want you to sing it with me right where you are. Come on. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Come on, everybody. Let it shine. Let your light